Okay, let's discuss levels of measurement. The levels of measurement are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay, so let's first start with our definitions. We build up starting with nominal. So nominal type data is basically categorical data that doesn't have any order. Okay, so then we move on to ordinal data. Ordinal data is, once again, categorical type data, but now we have some sort of order to it. Okay, both of these are categorical type data, which we know is qualitative type data. All right, so we can't do math on either of these type of data, right? We can't subtract our values or multiply it or divide it or anything like that. Next, moving on, we have interval type data. Interval type data is similar to ordinal, except now we can do some math. We can do subtraction. Okay. Interval type data has no natural zero, so you can't do a ratio. Right. So lastly, we have ratio type data, which is similar to interval, but it has a natural zero, and we can do all sorts of math with it, including taking ratios. So what type of data is this? These two are both quantities, quantitative type data. Quantitative type data. All right, let's do some examples. So starting with zip code. I think it helps to first think through which group you're in. Are you in the nominal or ordinal group? Or are you in the interval and ratio group? In other words, do you have categorical type data or do you have quantitative type data? Right? Qualitative or quantitative. So zip code. Zip code we know is going to be some sort of number like 92872, some sort of 5-digit number, right? And that number, even though it's a number, it's not a quantity, it's not quantitative type data, rather it's a category that represents where you live. Okay, so we're dealing with either nominal or ordinal. Okay. So once we're in that situation, we try to think, okay, is there an order? Can I put zip code in order? No, you cannot, right? You cannot order zip code in a meaningful way, so that means that this is going to be nominal type data. Okay, next we have military rank. Military rank, that's going to be like your E1, E2, etc., right? So what's your rank? Is it a quantity or a quality, right? Is it categorical or is it some sort of number? Well, it's a category, right? So we know that we're either dealing with nominal or ordinal. Well, so let's think through, can I put it in an order? Yeah, I can. I can put this in order. So this is going to be ordinal type data. There is a meaningful order behind rank. Okay. Next we have gender. So that's your male, female. Occasionally the survey will have other. All right, so that's once again, that's a category. Is there a meaningful order to that category? No, there's not. Right? You cannot meaningfully order gender, right? You might have an order for it, but what gender I guess you think is best, but that's really not, it's not really a meaningful order for everyone, right? So this is nominal type data. All right, temperature in Fahrenheit. It's actually really important that I said Fahrenheit here. Okay, so let's think about this. So say I were to have like 24 degrees Fahrenheit, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. So those are numbers. We're looking at either interval or ratio. Let's think about whether or not the ratio makes sense here. On the 24 degree day, is that half as hot as the 48 degree day? Or in other words, is the 48 degree day twice as hot as the 24 degree day? Not really, right? Because 0 in degrees Fahrenheit, it doesn't represent an absence of heat. Rather, it just represents the difference between where you got negative degrees Fahrenheit and then positive degrees Fahrenheit. So there's no real zero in Fahrenheit. So we are dealing with interval type data. Okay, if I had degrees Kelvin, Kelvin at 0 degree means absolutely no heat. So ratios do make sense in Kelvin, and Kelvin would be a ratio type data. Okay, but since we live in the United States, we're dealing with Fahrenheit here, and if you see temperature written anywhere, you should assume that the example is referring to Fahrenheit. All right, next we have year. So 2020, or 2001, say, 1980, okay? All of these years, right? Right, I have a number, so I know I'm dealing with interval or ratio, right? These are, subtraction between these makes sense. Like, for example, between 2020 and 2001, there's 19 years, right? I can do that subtraction. Definitely, I'm dealing with quantitative type data. It's either interval or ratio. Okay, but let's think it through. Does 0 make sense? Well, what is the year 0? Is it an absence of years? No, right? Year 0 in our calendar is supposedly when Christ was born, right? It's not an absence of time or an absence of years. So there's no natural 0, and year is going to be, once again, interval. Okay? All right, next, age. So say we have your age is 20, 10, etc. Right? We collect data on age. This is a number, right? So we know if interval or ratio. This is quantitative type data. Does the age 0 make sense? Is that an absence of age? Yeah, it is. Like you were just born, right? So it's an absence of being alive and an absence of age, sure. Also, we can take ratios of this. 20 is twice as old as 10. So yeah, this is ratio type data. All right, last example I have for you is the course final grade. Your course final grade, A, B, C, D, F. Okay, that's qualitative type data. That's a category. We're dealing with nominal or ordinal. Can I put it in order? Yes, I can. There is a meaningful order there. A is better than B, which is better than C, which is better than D, which is better than F. So this is ordinal type data.